If you have not yet done so, download the PDF. I'm going to switch to that right now. And of course, as you can see, there are blanks to fill out. If you can print it out and write in the blanks as you go along, that would be probably the best thing to do, or you can just take notes and fill in the blanks on a piece of paper to the side. All right, so what is marketing automation? So I spent some time over the last few days really thinking about all of the things that it does and try to condense it into the most important elements. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that. I'll leave it up to you to decide, but I think the definition of marketing automation has gotten somewhat skewed over the years, and I wanted to be as precise as possible. So the first blanks to fill in is this. It's using technology, software, and sometimes hardware. So those are the first three blanks to fill in to automate your marketing activities. And when I mean marketing activities, I mean things that can be repetitive in nature. And so these repetitive tasks include the following. And there are many, many different types of marketing automation. I've covered what I believe is to be the main ones that we do on a regular basis with our marketing clients. So the repetitive tasks include email marketing, and I think that's fairly obvious to most people. Then there's SMS and text messaging. Text messaging, for me, works in certain scenarios and doesn't work in other scenarios. And again, we're going to be giving you examples throughout today's presentation on the different types of automation and where they're good for. The next is advertising campaigns. I think running an advertising campaign is a good idea, but what's the marketing automation used in that scenario? Next, we have Messenger and SMS bots. So automating your marketing through Messenger and SMS. And then there's some traditional things which you can do with marketing automation, and that's print and promotional material. For example, things like send-out cards or using Amazon to do fulfillment for you with marketing automation. And then finally, the good old traditional phone calls. And phone calls can also be automated, or the process or the communication between the software and the person who's making the phone calls. So those are the different types of repetitive tasks. Next in our sheet, it said, and this is, I felt was really important to put in here. And you always have to think about, should marketing automation be doing everything for me, or can it do? And so I think this is an important statement. It can automate repetitive tasks via customer trigger points, but it can never fully replace the blank element, and I think human is the best word to put into that space. We found over the years, and again, we've gotten smarter with this and more experienced. In the beginning, what we tried to do with CRM technology, when we didn't have Groundhogg, we had things like Infusionsoft or Drip or other types of CRMs, is we tried to do everything. We tried to account for every scenario. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that throughout today's seminar, in that you really shouldn't be doing that at the beginning. What you should be doing is implementing something that has an ample amount of technology, an ample amount of automation, and as the data starts to come in, then you can start optimizing the system. But the human element is very important. You can't just fire off a bunch of emails, especially if you have a product or service of any significant value. Eventually, you're going to have a conversation. And so the human element, as it, I think the word is interact with the client. It's a go-between between the client, the software, and you, the human, who has to close the business. So an automated marketing CRM is software that can do many of these tasks, but most good CRM software requires the user to go through, and this is where marketing agencies come in, or this is where training comes in. You have to go through this detailed setup process. This process typically includes a 3-step process, which I'll get to in a second. Marketing automation, or any CRM such as Groundhogg or Infusionsoft or any one of 100 of them, none of them are plug and play. Yes, you can import other people's work, import funnels and campaigns, but they still need to be optimized for your particular situation. And so that's where a lot of marketing agencies are doing well in helping companies automate systems and processes to save them time and money, because it costs a lot less to do automation than it does to pay for human resources. But the detailed setup process, as I mentioned, is quite expansive. It's not an easy thing to do, and it does require some experience. And the purpose of today's seminar is to introduce you to some of those things and help you think about maybe going it alone or getting some help or whatever the case may be. So the 3-step process, which unfolds over time, and I apply this to many things, not just CRM marketing automation, but the first thing is you have to organize yourself. And part of the organizational process means getting somebody with ample experience to help you organize yourself in the beginning. If you've never been introduced to marketing automation before, and you haven't been using other software, when you first come to Groundhogg, we're noticing in the user groups and the Facebook groups that people are asking a lot of questions when those questions could be answered simply by going to the Quick Start training program. So they're saying, well, how do I actually send an email? Or how do I set up a cron job or a cron task? And all of the detailed setup process, the organizational process does require some experience and or some training or a combination of the two. Then the launch process takes you to the next step, which is the optimize process, meaning get it in play, and then as it starts to bring in data, as people start to join the system, you see where the drop-off points are, and or you see what is required to help the client get through to the next section or upsell them to a different product or service, or whatever they do, trigger the next possible action. And we're going to talk about that near the end of today. It's like, what is the optimization process? If the client does this, then what should we do next? What are some of the options there? To me, the optimization process is something that is put on the back burner with a lot of companies. They spend a lot of money and resources and time and energy trying to figure out the optimization process in the beginning, and I don't think it works that well. I think it works much, much better when data starts coming in, and then you can use that data to make the system hum more efficiently. And then finally, once you've got a good system running, then you can do this. You can customize another process using the optimization and the organization that you did on your first CRM funnels. So, blanks: organize, optimize, customize. We have talked about this in previous That's Ambitious courses, but it never were more relevant than in this particular situation, especially the optimization process. Once you get through that, and once you learn how to optimize a system and make it flow better, then eventually you can start to customize for all different types of scenarios. And then finally, what a CRM cannot do. And the answer is plug and play. You cannot download a CRM, sign up for a third-party CRM, and then click start. It does not work like that. It's not like an app on your cell phone where it just does what it does. There is a detailed setup process. So the concept of plug and play is often something which people come into software thinking, oh, it's just going to handle automation for you, and that's just not possible.